have protested to be cancelled.
Somebody is receiving 30,000 naira after serving the country for 5 years.
From the stories shaping Nigeria's future.
And the dumping my mood for that whenever people are clapping, he's praise singers when they ought to be telling him the truth.
I mean, he did not do any remarkable thing in your state, and you are celebrating corruption time.
To real-time feedback from you, the citizens.
There is propaganda. They can never make it work. I will not support that tax reform.
If ND is turning out very fake data to us because this data lacks empirical evidence.
We dig deep with the decision makers, hold the powerful accountable, and keep the conversation alive on social media. Join Maryann Okon every Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for the most interesting news and current affairs show on radio.
I'm so sorry. I hate it when people make assertions from very skewed and biased places.
Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's talk.
5 minutes gone past the 5 o'clock hour. Welcoming you to the Big Hard Facts today. Yes, we're talking good governance vis-a-vis the scramble for 2027. And if you have been following the news, you obviously have been reading, hearing, talking about coalition, movements from party A to party B, cross-capiting and defections. But not a lot of talk about how best we can get 24 hours public power supply and how best we can move from point A to point B, how we can expand our train services that way. I don't necessarily have to wait for Air Peace and their delays to get from Port Harcourt to Lagos or wherever. We're not hearing how we're going to deal with the people that have killed over 200 in Benue or 400 plus in Plateau. All we hear is how Ganduje has resigned and has become a member of a board. We're not necessarily paying attention or necessarily hearing these kinds of words coming from our government as to how they're bettering our lot as opposed to how they are bettering their lot. And that's why my guest is here with us. I like that when I pitch these ideas, my guests know how to pick it up. Aniekan Joseph is a public policy enthusiast and he joins us live via Zoom. Aniekan, it's so good to have you join us and welcome to Hard Facts.
Hi, man. Glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Good evening, Nigerians.
Yes, if you did listen to my opener, and of course you understood my analysis, of course everyone's talking about the coalition, which is a great thing. Every now and again there are movements, political shifts, especially in Nigeria, because our political parties have no ideology, and so APC is PDP, PDP is ADC, and SDP, and whatever else we want to call it. But why is it that what is front and center is more politics than good governance?
Maryann is entertaining. It has entertainment value. For a group of people that are stressed out, it's almost like Big Brother to them. This is on the go, real time entertainment. The people that they see as elite celebrities, it's exciting that you can see these things unfold real time. It is refreshing to hear this person's take and that person's take. It is that temporary relief that people unfortunately may know that is not helpful, but in the moment it is relieving, as in it helps you smile and laugh maybe, before you now go back to the more serious-minded, deep-thinking conversation that is required for steps to be taken towards solution. I made up my mind that today I'm going to be as blunt and clear as possible because of the first word of this program, hard. I try to be.
As much as, you're making sense with the fact that, maybe it's entertaining, I do not know what part of our hardship and poverty and the loss of lives, the bloodshed, the insecurity that we're dealing with, and the poor level of infrastructure, poor healthcare, almost eroding educational system is supposed to be entertaining. Is it that we ourselves have lost sight of what should be front and center and what should be valued, or what our problems are, and are now somewhat taking solace in the so-called entertaining things that politicians do. What is it? Is it our problem? Is it? I don't know.
I don't think it's that we've lost sight. If you remember, this journey dates back to 1999. And there are people who've been counting the years. This is 26 consecutive years. You know, and then you ask yourself, what one problem have we solved? So you have to excuse people. The truth is, we live in a world where you've received so many promises and a lot has been written about what can be done, what the potentials are. But down the line, you will now begin to ask yourself, can these guys actually do this? And it is that reality, it's a scary reality to think that the current crop of political elite do not have the ability to solve the problem. Because deep down, we know these people, we love these people, we even adore them. You'll find people who chant and rant, and you see them vibrate when you see a politician that this is this person, this is our man, this is. And then it's difficult to connect the dots and say, how can this man that I love so much and seems to be doing so much not be able to solve a problem that I've always had all my life? So there's that disconnect psychologically that makes it difficult to rationalize and say, well, you know, so let's have fun. Let's decompress. Let's vibe about it. I generally think that that's how people have comfortably or conveniently tried to address it. Because when you begin to look at the problems, Maryann, it is because it is so familiar, it is so close to you. People are worried that they may be having drugs that are fake. People do not know who is responsible for clean petrol. People are not sure that if there's a dispute, that there's a system to resolve it. The reality is you can step out in the morning, not know what will unfold. So when that reality is really around you, it's you have to find a way, because we don't talk enough about mental health and the challenges that come with it. So people find a way to cope. And this is what I think we have to recognize.
But then, does this not, one way or the other, take our foot off the pedal of accountability and responsibility on the part of our government officials? Does this not, one way or another, give these guys a leeway or some sort of opportunity to continue in mediocrity or absolutely doing nothing and making it seem like they're doing quite a lot? Does that not excuse the lethargy, for want of a better way to describe the actions of our politicians in terms of leadership?
I don't think it does. I think that there's another hard reality that we have to grapple with, which is that these people may not know how to deliver what the people want. Because the idea of a leader is to be able to understand what the followers may need, even when the followers do not know that they need it. It's like parenting. Children do not really understand the value of education or good nutrition, but parents have to find a way to ensure that they get it. And then when the children grow up, they're like, oh my God, so this is what it was. That's what leadership is about. Whether the people know that they need it or don't, it's immaterial. And which is why I go back to the conversation around, do the leaders know enough? So if you found parents who are not taking steps to provide proper nutrition for their children, or taking steps to see that they have basic education, you know, you are not going to tell the children, why are you not protesting to your parents? You won't tell the children, like, have you told your parents you need good food? You have to go to the parents then to say, hey, what could be the issue here? And if we do not put our leaders at that level, and we assume, for instance, that the followers themselves will always know, then that is the real way you can excuse the leaders. Because with my analogy, you go to tell a child to hold the parent accountable, but the child may not know really, except we're talking about a grown adult child. Our current reality is such that the expectation is that the people in political office have the education, have the exposure, and by virtue of their office tools and resources, can get exposure where they may not have had. Because you can hire people, you can seek advice, you can call consultants, and they can tell you, well, these are the short-term plans, long-term plans, but the real issues are there for us to see. And we have to ask the difficult questions. Could it be that there is that capacity gap? And because there's so much money and power around, nobody's really willing to address it. And I want to throw this back at the journalists, the media. We interact with these guys. And the stories that sell are this person decamped and that person decamped, and then there's the coalition. So there's the whole political economy of the media, where someone is looking at the bottom line and saying, Omo, this story is going to depress the people the more, but Ganduje just left. Headline. That's going to move the needle a bit. We're going to make some money. So we have to be real and practical about this, so that the media has to maintain its business and find a way to remain relevant. And then the people who may or may not know what they need must depend on the leaders, media leaders, political leaders, to have that friction that leads to the outcome that we want.
Lagos, if you're just joining us, the program is Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're still talking good governance versus the politics of 2027. What should be prioritized? My guest is Aniekan Joseph. He is a public policy enthusiast. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Go join the conversation right now. Post your comments, post your questions. As the conversation continues, you can also be part of the conversation on X, where Nigeria Info FM 99.3. Also, you can be part of the conversation on WhatsApp 08095975805. Go join the conversation. And let's move a bit away from us, the people. Let's talk about the politicians and
Absolutely.
Something my mates would call kicking the can down the street, kicking the can down the road, further down the road. Leaving doomsday for later, and always, putting a plaster on the cancer. For example, we have, like I said at the beginning, we have so many issues, especially the issue of insecurity. I just talked about that on the 4 o'clock hour, that 9 Chinese nationals were docked, and a high court in Lagos gave them a 1-year jail term for Ponzi schemes that tied to terrorism financing. And there was a plea bargain. But my concern is what messaging this sends to not just we that are within Nigeria, but also others who are eyeing us from the outside as a place where you can come and, do whatever you like and get a slap on the wrist. Don't forget, we've heard the Chief of Defense Staff talk about the fact that they're elite sponsors of terrorism. We've heard the governor of Borno and Plateau State make similar, the minister for mining, Dele Alaki, at some point had said that powerful men in Nigeria are behind some of the insecurity. What are we doing with that intel? There's no body language coming from the government that seems like, okay, we have all of this intel. Let's do something. Let's at least use some person as a scapegoat to send a message. There's nothing happening on that front. And because maybe we're not making an issue out of it, it's business as usual. And our president is somewhere in Brazil having a good time. He was made a Lord something or Sir something in some other country, St. Lucia. And Bayo Nanuga is fighting with the IMF because the IMF is saying that, well, you guys are trying, but you're not doing your best. And if you must come out of this double-digit inflation, these are the things you need to do. And they say, well, the IMF is trying to turn the people against the government. Are these politicians taking advantage of our ignorance and doing the most?
You're absolutely spot on with that question. As usual, they are difficult, they are layered. And if I was not listening, I would have embarrassed myself with a lousy response. But this is the reality. And I want to take it from the first one. There's a concept called weak state capacity, Maryann. The state is a machine that has mechanisms that help politicians stay right. Now, when we consider the capacity weak, we're looking at an organization or organizations within the security infrastructure, the intelligence community, the diplomatic community, the office of the presidency or the office of the national security advisor. So when you look at the ability of the police, for instance, to hold people accountable to the Constitution, you and I already know that that's a lost cause because the police has been privatized by and large by the political class. Now, you look at the other mechanisms of change within the government, they are owned by, mighty political personalities. So that when a politician that is in position of power, that has the tools of power and can influence the mechanism of change, is crying that the system is flawed, who can make a difference then? I sit as a minister or the president, our commander-in-chief. I sit in the legislature and I have the ability to make laws and appropriate funds. I sit as the head of an agency. I can take action. And collectively, all of us with the resource and the power come to the people who elected us or through whatever means we got to power and tell them, well, we have all this power and we have all this money, but we can't solve this problem. That is what we're hearing. So the capacity of the system to first of all hold itself accountable and then hold its colleagues accountable to the Constitution that they swore to is weak. Now, back to the Chinese guys. When you look at international diplomacy, international politics, there are people that have certain levers against our state that they may be able to pull. You need this and you need that. We can help you with this and you can help you with that. Those 2 or 3 or 7 gentlemen that did that, just give them a slap on the wrist and this is what you get in return. We can't act like we don't know that these things happen. It's a technique in law. It's a technique in diplomacy. There are prisoner swaps, reduce the sentence and you get this. So it's about the ability of the people in these positions to use it on behalf of the people because it's public trust and they have to execute that power competently so that the people you lead pay attention when they hear the news, they are confident. But again, this is part of the problem that we need to solve when we talk about criminal justice. Like I said earlier, when there are disputes, people are not confident to go to court because they understand that it's possible that the guys at the courts, have their own agenda and interest. So where can the Nigerian run to?
I have a minute and 57 seconds. It's important that we have this conversation and bear in mind the fact that the coalition is front and center of everything that is happening today. And now people are not just excited that there is now a coalition that seems to be formidable against the power, the party that's in power, but now people are wondering who the coalition is going to float, which I think sincerely should not be the crux right now. But everyone seems to be saying it has to be Peter Obi. If it's not Peter Obi, we're not voting. But first, why are we talking about 2027 now? Just 2 years into an administration an administration that we're yet to see dividends of good governance from. You have a minute before we go on the break.
Excellent. Our electoral cycles are short, Maryann. If you look at the fact that you have 4 years and you pair that with lack of capacity on the side of the politicians, they are already stranded by the time they are sworn in. What can I do in 4 years? So you made a remark about putting a plaster on the wound and kicking the can down the road. It's because of this really basic phenomenon. So if I'm not sure what to do and I only have 4 years to figure that out, it only makes sense that I'm having conversation around how much we've spent through the budget and scheming for how I'm going to secure my next tenure.
Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we're still talking about good governance side by side. The clamor for 2027 by politicians is still hard facts. 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Maryann Okon. We'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Success is like a big mansion. You only see the magnificent edifice, not the strong foundation that holds it. Likewise, in the world of e-payments, you only see transactions done and funds remitted. But who pioneered these financial technology solutions? Well, you knew it as Value Card, now Unified Payments, Nigeria's premier financial technology service provider. Yes, it starts here. Find out more at www.up-ng.com.
Unified Payments, unifying businesses for people.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
This taste na banger, this taste na creamy rich, this taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1. Thickness, enjoyment, yumminess, happiness, delightfulness, deliciousness, smoothness. This taste na new Nescafe, original 3-in-1.
Enjoy more creamy richness with the new Nescafe Original 3-in-1 in the new pack. That's strong, finish strong.
Hi, this is Nene from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Hey, rewards to the land! When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes Uncle.
3% cash back.
Now so, smart cash back, don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash Cashback Reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cashback, or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cashback sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today. Terms and conditions, Deja.
Charlatan
quality anti-malaria. Contains Artemether and lumefantrine. Available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets with very convenient dosing for kids. Shalatam is also available in tablets for adults. Knock out malaria in 3 days with Shalatam from Shalina Healthcare. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Shalatam is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
What can your bank do for you?
Meet Jane, 25 years old. She's been having troubles acquiring a loan from her bank.
This is not okay at all. I've been on this queue forever, and you're saying I should fill another form. What's going on?
What can your bank do for you?
Meet Frank, 27 years old. Held up in traffic and making fruitless transactions.
Mama, I have saved the airtime, even the electricity charges. I don't know why it's so difficult making this payment.
Introducing Safri, a lifestyle digital bank that's designed just for you. With one click, you can make easy and fast payment transactions, pay bills, and even acquire easy loans. Hurry and download the Safri app on your Play Store. Visit safrisafri.com for more information. Safri, borderless banking.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us too.
My mom calls it instant goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Imagine a world without communication, a world without emergency calls, disconnected businesses, and unreachable families. Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me? This is the reality we face when telecommunications masts and fiber optic cables are vandalized. These telecommunications assets are the lifeline of our communities. They keep us connected, informed, and safe. Every act of vandalism is a blow to our businesses, our banks, our schools, our hospitals. Let's stand together. Let's protect our networks. Dial 622 from any network or send an email protect@ncc.gov.ng to report any suspicious activity around telecommunications infrastructure. Our connection, our responsibility. This message is brought to you by the Mobile Network Operators and Towercos in collaboration with Nigerian Communications Commission.
I don't know, man. These days, all you hear is save, invest, save, Wait, how do you guys find this money? Is it not someone that is settled that will have money to save and invest? And even if I manage to invest or save, the interest rates are so low. And one can lose money in all these crypto, NFT, blockchain, and so on.
Introducing Fund 724. It's a simple solution to all your money goals. With as low as 1,000 Naira or that urgent 2K in your pocket, you can start saving with Fund 724 and earn solid returns on your investment. And you can withdraw your money from your account for free. Anytime you like, just dial *724# on your mobile phone and follow the prompts.
Oh, so no need to download an app or join a long queue, huh?
Dial *724# now to get started. Fund 724 is available 24/7. Guarantee Trust Fund Managers is a subsidiary of Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
What you're about to taste is so hot, it's got Basket Mouth singing.
Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Yeah. Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Chris. Heat.
Nothing brings the heat like the bold taste of Mini Me Noodles Niger Pepper Flavor. Try it today and see for yourself. Mini Me Noodles Niger Pepper Flavor. Slurp it like it's hot.
Success is like an aeroplane. You only see the graceful flight high up in the sky, but not the roaring, powerful engines propelling it. Likewise, in the world of e-payments, you only see transactions done, funds remitted. But who pioneered these financial technology solutions? Well, you knew it as Value Card, now Unified Payments, Nigeria's premier financial technology service provider. Yes, it starts here. Find out more at www.up-ng.com. Unified Payments, unifying businesses for people.
Feeling under the weather? Tired of getting sick? Immunase from Vitabiotics can help. Immunase is a supplement packed with vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, zinc, and selenium that support your immune system. With Immunase, you can boost your natural defenses and fight infections, reduce your occurrence of illnesses, enjoy faster recovery, and better energy levels. Immunase from Vitabiotics, trusted partner to keep you healthy. Available at pharmacies near you.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories. You know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts
with Maryann Okon
on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Hard Facts.
99.3 Nigeria Info. 34 minutes come past the 5 o'clock hour. We're still talking about good governance side by side. The scramble for 2027. And if you haven't heard, well, there is a scramble. In fact, if you started with certain people beginning to make moves to move to the party at the center, of course, to gain more power. And then, of course, we saw many more people decamp from the APC. Of course, people who were aggrieved after the 2023 elections moved to the SDP, and then, of course, we saw them crisscross all the way to the ADC. We've also seen the problems within the PDP that had also led to resignations, massive resignations, and those people moved to the ADC. We've also seen subtle campaigns for the APC and the presidency. We've seen literally across the country governors being endorsed for a second tenure. We're seeing, I think in my state, I saw the governor being endorsed, and of course he endorsing the president, and I was thinking to myself, are we in 2026 yet? Or in 2027? And if you are in Abuja, you must have seen a lot of all those campaign things, you know. But then INEC is not seeing, INEC is not saying anything. And there are rules. There are rules to this thing. But let's leave that and talk about why. The why. Why this is a priority at a time where Nigerians are sorely beaten down on every single front. My guest is a public policy enthusiast, and he is joining us via Zoom. Before we went on that break, we still were talking about, you know, some issues. Aniekan, before we went on that break, you were still trying to explain to me the answers to my question before we went on that quick break. Would you like to conclude your thoughts?
Well, the reasons why, or one of the reasons why it's important to put a plaster on the wound and kick the can down the road. I did mention one, that electoral cycles are short, you know, and it's difficult, it appears, for meaningful institutional change to be made in the period that we have, which is 4 years. If you remember, there was something Jonathan was trying to do to institute a single 6-year tenure. The framers of that idea imagined that at least there was a 3-year period, undiluted 3 years, that you can focus on trying to create change that is impactful to the lives of people. So if you want to piece away 2 years, understood. Your first year, you're trying to figure stuff out. Your last year, you're trying to ensure that you have a good person who takes over from you. But you have 3 to 4 years in between that you focus to deliver governance and solve problems for the people. You know, so that's what I think. Overall, the political system needs a system where the cycles are long enough for you to be able to make change, but not too long for you to not become the principality within the system. Now, go on.
Because I was about to say that we do have a lot of principalities within the system.
Absolutely.
I was just having a tete-a-tete while we were on the break, and a colleague just said something that, you know, I have somewhat aligns with some of the thoughts that I have. He somewhat implies that why would you put your hope in a billionaire whose reality is not the same as yours, whose problems are not the same as yours, who's not worried about if there's power or not, who's not worried about the price of fuel or petrol, who doesn't necessarily understand that why the primary health care unit down the road isn't working. His reality is not yours. His priority is to keep being rich alongside his friends. Could we be mistaking some of these politicians to be our saviors as opposed to the fact that these guys... Again, I'm asking because within the coalition, there's an Atiku Abubakar, there's a Peter Obi, there is an Amechi, there is an El Rufai.
Yes.
Even though El Rufai has come out to say publicly that he has no intentions to want to be president, but his intention is to make sure that Tinubu doesn't return. But the rest of the three have presidential interest and ambition. Now, the question is, how do we ascertain that these intentions and interests align with ours? That's my question.
Well, you may have overestimated my ability, Maryann, by thinking that
from your perspective, because of course, using the analysis of my colleague who is saying that none of these guys qualify to really be our angels or our savior. Could he be right?
Your colleague may be right, but there is a reality that we have to face. And the last time I was in the program, I tried to break this down. The way we do politics in our country indicates strongly that you need incredible financial ability. I also mentioned in my last show here that there is no guarantee that you will win even after you spend tens of billions. Now, to de-risk yourself, you need to create an environment where there is a lot of money. And if there are losses, the losses are shared. Because our political system is a winner-takes-all system. If you go all in on an election and you lose the election, then you are in serious financial situation. Because then you do not have the means of political production that helps you recover some of these funds because of the way politics is financed in this country. Which is why, if we go back to INEC and how political parties are formed, and we create digital visibility, Party A has 10,000 active members. How do you know active members? People who have paid at least 10,000 and above in the calendar year. You can now say if a party of 10,000 members have people with 10,000 naira contributed, that comes to some significant sums of money. But if you create that type of system, it means then that the people have the power and not the political class. So there's no incentive for the political class to want a transparent, participatory political base. Because if I have to go to a political party's website and check that although there are 100,000 registered members, only 10,000 are active members, indicated by how much they've contributed in the minimum, the political party now has some money. Number two, internal democracy scares the hell out of us in this country. Because when there is competitive ideas in the market, chances are you will not have the best idea and you will not be the chosen candidate, which is why consensus becomes the approach. Let us just compromise. Okay, let it just be my turn so that next time is your turn. Instead of us to have a competitive process where we argue ideas. So we are afraid to lose because we are convinced that our ideas are not the best. So when we create a competitive environment where ideas are traded and people have the freedom to say, actually, this guy is talking nonsense and this guy makes sense, and that is made open, all of a sudden, competency becomes a key issue, followed by capacity and character. And in that environment, a lot of people will not have a chance, and we cannot have that, especially when favor and grace is a currency in this country.
Interesting. I want to open up the phone lines because we don't have time, but I really wish I could ask you this question about, is there a possibility of us making the same mistake we made in 2023 in 2027?
Historically, yes. You have to look at our behavior. You cannot separate. My response has to be historical because it is a reflection of the people's behavior. The way we have behaved since 1999. It was only in the last general election that we saw a change of behavior. That people were willing to lose an election by putting their hat in a third and a fourth force in the name of Peter Obi and Kwankwaso. It is not it. So we are saying that we have the potential to change, but by and large, we have not gotten to that peak where it is effective.
Okay. Lagos, the phone lines are open. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. That line is not working. 0201 277 0993. That's the number everyone should call. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Post your comments, your questions. I'd like to hear on WhatsApp. It's 0809597585. If you're listening from the diaspora, you can call WhatsApp 0809597585. 60 seconds. Go straight to the point. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good to your guys, yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so, Maryann, and to your guests have said well. You know, number one thing, does a Nigerian man knows what is good? Do you know what the meaning of good? We don't know what is good and we don't know who is good. Understand me? So, a process whereby you don't know who is good and you don't know what is good. So what do you expect from the politician to do to you? They will use it to play ball, use it to cut crews or anything they want to do because they know that you don't know what is good. Now, look, let me make, for example, when Daddy Freeze was here, how many of them know that what is good in what Daddy Freeze was doing? Most of them call him Antichrist. Because why? Even the one, those ones that are not good, did they have name to give to them? They don't have name to give.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. 60 seconds is all you have. Go straight to the point and make it. Hello.
Good evening, Maryann.
Good evening.
We have Emmanuel on the line, and I'm speaking to you. From Ekwe.
Go ahead.
I agree with your guest, that sometimes the mentality of the Nigerian, is very odd. We are in a country of which people will look at you, and ask how many people have you sent to Mecca. Some people we rely on their pastor's prophecy and the directive, from their pastor, irrespective of if their person is a criminal or not. One of the previous election, I think in 2015, can't be exonerated, from the fraud that happened, in that election where money were shared. Traditional institutions can be exonerated, and so on. So what I'm looking at is, I think from 40 years upward, I'm sorry to say this, we are rotting. The younger generation, will be the ones, to fix this country. Because with this mentality, the big pockets, big money, big party, are people who will likely win elections. And those who are really interested, in fixing this country, people like Prince Ado Ibrahim, that contested under the Youth Party, this SDP candidate, Adewale Adebayo, as well, who have great ideas. The system will throw them off, because of the mentality of the average Nigerian.
Okay.
And until that mentality will change. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much for calling. 60 seconds is all you have. Please stick to it. Go straight to the point. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, good afternoon, Maryann.
Yes.
Good afternoon. It's me, Pastor Mecca.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please, I tried comment earlier on. What I want to ask your guest, if you're doing good, God bless your guest, please, what strategy can he or his advice to the coalition party as regard to INEC manipulation of electoral election results?
Why should he be advising the ADC? He's not a member of the ADC or the coalition. Why would he be advising them?
because not let's assume he is employed as an advisor because of what transpired. Because whether I like it or not, some of all these powers lies on the INEC. You saw what happened last 2023 and the previous election. That is my question and my take. How can we cope the excess of INEC? Thank you.
Okay. I think you asked the question properly now. The excesses of INEC as opposed to what his advice should be to the ADC. Go ahead, Aniekan.
I think that there's something that happened in the last general election where INEC took a position and just denied that it took that position on the use of the IREF. And then they were supported by the judiciary, in that position. And I think that if INEC needs to hold itself accountable to its own words. So when you say you're going to use a system or a process to manage elections, you remain faithful to that position. That can be a good start as we evolve in this political journey.
Well, the choice is still INEC's, not necessarily us, the people, I guess. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Miriam. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Jonathan is my name.
Go ahead.
I think my thoughts align with everybody's thoughts. I want the leadership house. I don't have any preferred candidate. My preferred candidate is Sowore, but I just want this leadership house. Let me also answer the question you asked your guest. The reason why we are talking about 2027, if you remember, Miriam, it is the leading party that started it. And they started it because this present president, unprecedented money given all around. Miriam, do you hear what Wike said over the weekend? Initial state budget was 15 billion. Increased to what? 50 billion. That's above 200%. So that is the reason why the rush is there. That is the reason. This president is an elitist leadership. And that is why you see that all the governors, they have not seen such money before. And it's a fact. So all of us out there should be pained to the point that we have to take this leadership out.
Okay.
That is how I look at it.
Thank you very much for calling. Thank you for sticking to your 60 seconds. I appreciate it. 0201-277-0993. I can take one more call and then go read messages. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
The question I want to ask your guest, I have many things.
Your name, sir. Your name, sir, and where you are calling from?
Yes, calling from Aja.
Go ahead.
See, I want your guest to answer this. Does let me say, a Nigerian man receive what is good, and do they accept that which is good? And if what is good come, would they accept it? So it's good to just talk every time. This thing, let's check it out. Does a Nigerian man receive that which is good? If what is good should come, will they accept it? They will not. So let's see how the major problem that we are facing. They don't receive that which is good. That is the meaning. That's the more reason why we are suffering and we are where we are. Okay. If what is good should come, they will beat and reject and do all manner of evil. They will have time to monitor him, check him whether he's good or not. But when the one that is wicked and foolish should come, they will not even bother about to even monitor or check him. In fact, they will even look for tea and bread and people tell him, Oga, you still need enough.
Thank you very much for calling. All right. Thank you for calling. I'm letting you go because of time. I want to read some messages and I'll let my guests wrap up the conversation. I want to go to WhatsApp quickly. And for those of you who are joining the conversation, we're live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can be part of the conversation. Let us know what your thoughts are. Someone here says, greetings, Maryann. The protracted lack of good governance in Nigeria is due to poor leadership. As far as we, the people, continue to sit and watch personalities we know for sure lack leadership qualities run our affairs, we continue to grapple with the status quo. Emeka from Akesan. Thank you. This one says, good evening, Nigeria Info. What is your message? I do not see it. What is your message? You're just greeting us. Okay, welcome. Thank you very much. I have just about a minute, 15 seconds. I think I'm going to let you, respond to the, if we see good, can we identify it? If we see good, can we accept it? If we see good, will we receive it? And that's a good question that Blessed asked.
Yeah, it's an excellent question, but it's a question that is grounded in our party politics, Maryann. I did say something that we are afraid of competitive party politics and ideology, which is why you find that there is the need for consensus as against primaries. Do we have an opportunity where people slug it out at the party level? Who has the better ideas? Because we as a people are afraid that we may not have the best ideas. And I'm talking about the people who want political office now. It's easier, it's convenient that we are looking for consensus. Okay, let's come together and let this guy go first. And after this guy, we'll now come together and let this guy go next. And then we'll come together and let that guy go next. Because in that way, you are not going to guess the best minds in the positions of power.
Exactly.
So when you pay attention to the politics at the party level, the chairman is working with one or two incredibly wealthy people to say, now our guy be that. Okay, then after this one will come go. You know, like we see it happen where if this one doesn't align, it doesn't get a second tenure. So that's the situation, Maryann. That we do not have the culture of democracy that helps us get the best. That's the response to that question.
Bottom line is an Mamadu situation for us. And that's why we're not going anywhere. Well, I want to say thank you. Aniekan Joseph is a public policy enthusiast. Always a pleasure to have him on Hard Facts. Thank you so much, Aniekan, for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, Maryann. Always a pleasure.
All right, Lagos, that's where we leave it. Tomorrow we'll be back on Hard Facts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, MIMIEYO. My name is Maryann Okon. I love you, Lagos. Bye-bye.
What you're about to taste is so hot, it's got basket mouth singing.
Mini Ninja Pepe flavor. Yeah. Mini Ninja Pepe flavor.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.